Hey, what's up guys? Welcome to the third video in the 4-part video series for the Warrior Monk Workshop. In today's video, we're going to talk about why you have a love-hate relationship towards your parents and what you can do about it. So that finally our goal out here is to reach a point of true love towards our parents and let go of the anger, the arrogance, the blame that we have towards them, and reach a place of humility and true love, not because the world expects it from us, because at any point in time, if anyone asks you, do you love your parents? Almost everyone will say that, yeah, we do. But when you go back home, it's a completely different situation out there. Or when you're alone with yourself, you know that you don't really love them. There's a lot of hate and anger inside you and you can't forgive them for particular things. So what do you do about that? Because with this, I don't care about what you say to the world out there, all right? But what is it that really goes on inside you? And for us to have an amazing relationship, just showing off something and just pretending to be something that we're not is not really going to help us. So we got to talk about these things no matter how uncomfortable it makes us feel, all right? So welcome to the video. My name is Kshitij. This is Highward Cycle, where I help you guys get over your subconscious anchors and feel worthy enough, have amazing, deeper, intimate relationships with people, and develop deep, amazing confidence and charisma with yourself. Let's go back in time. So when we're born, we love our parents love us. Everyone loves everyone, and in no point in time do our parents want to do anything bad to us. So when we're growing up, we've got certain needs that need to be met. But parents being busy people, or parents being non-healed themselves, them not knowing any better, them doing certain things that they should not be doing, and just not being ready for this thing called parenting. Like, they made a baby, but they don't know how to take care of it. And there are very rarely any courses out there that teach you how to parent someone. Or at least if they are, there's barely anyone that takes it. The qualification of someone being a parent is just you're 23, 24 years of age. Get married and have kids. Why? Just because the grandparents desire that, so you gotta have kids. Or your parents desire that, which is why you gotta have kids. And you don't know what to do. And the parents say that, oh, we grew up fine. Our parents didn't know about anything, and we grew up fine, and you grew up fine. Naturally, everyone else will grow up fine. But what's happening in that growing up fine is the same limiting patterns, the same traumas that are passed on, that happened in their life, have been passed on from generations, going on and on and on and on. And unless you and I can do something to stop it right there, the same things will be passed on to the future generations as well. And I'm sure none of us want to do that. So it's super important for us to address all of these things that we talk about here at Highward Cycle, so that the offsprings that we have, when we become parents ourselves, we're much more qualified to become parents, and we don't traumatize them exactly the way we were traumatized. So let's talk about how this thing happens. All right. So we're born, we love our parents, everything is great. But due to everything just not being perfect and them being human beings as well, and them not knowing better, certain needs of us start to not get met. And that makes us have trust issues. That makes us not like a parent. That makes us feel that, all right, I want this love and approval from my parents. That's what we crave for. We want the love, approval, safety, the care, the compassion. But maybe our parents never got it themselves, and that's why they can't give it to us. And that leaves a void inside, that leaves a wound inside when we're not accepted for who we are. Or maybe they start putting in conditions out there. You must have seen the first part of the video. If you haven't, go check that out as well, where I talk about the conditional love that happens out there for them to discipline us. Because that's the way they were parented. That's the way they grew up. That you have to do this particular thing, otherwise you're going to be punished. Of course, they want to give us a better future. But if our parents are not there for our upbringing, it leaves emotional voids inside and wounds inside, and makes us feel that maybe there's something wrong with me. Maybe I am not good enough. And when we grow up, these emotional voids inside of love, approval, care, validation, we start to seek them through unhealthy ways. We start to go out there and maybe we always want friends. Maybe we always want, unhealthy sex outside. Or maybe we're jumping from relationship to relationship, trying to meet this thing, or always trying to feel good enough by chasing the next high, more success, the bigger, better thing, more money, better car, all of these things. That's how that manifests. Now, when we're growing up, because of this wounding that takes place, a lot of pain also happens during that time that we store inside, and we don't know what to do with it. So conditional love is happening, our trust is being broken, our needs are not being met, which is forming voids inside us. Now, naturally, anytime we go to our parents to, let's say, want the love, but every time we get the pain because they weren't loved enough themselves, so they think that this is the best way to raise our kids, is to maybe punish them, or maybe not give them too much love, because if I give them too much love, they'll be pampered and they'll become spoiled brat, which is the most furthest thing away from the truth. There is never a reality where you can give your kids too much love. There's nothing as too much love. If those needs of love, care and compassion, approval, validation are not met while growing up, it becomes an unmet need, and the entire life the child is going out there to fulfill that need through other people at every point in time. But if that need is fulfilled in childhood, Now we can grow up and we can focus on other things and we can really live our life rather than our body, our subconscious being stuck in that part of meeting those needs at every point in time. So anytime we reach out to a parent for love, for validation, for approval, or anything we reach out for, but they do not have that capacity with themselves to give that to us, that gives us pain. And naturally, with this thing happening over and over and over and over again, us reaching out for love, but our needs not being met and us getting pain, we realize that we can cope with this through one out of the two ways. So the first thing that happens is we start to do what our parents expect us to do. As a kid, we realize that if I come first in class, if I study, my parents will love me. If I stay completely quiet, my parents will love me. If I do X, Y, and Z thing, my parents will love me. If I become a good boy, my parents will love me. If I don't do what I want to do, if I don't go out and play, my parents will love me. If I stay quiet in my room, my parents will love me. And naturally, what we do is we suppress our desires of what we want to do as a person, and we start to become a people pleaser to please the parents, because that's the only way we know to receive the love. And we get that approval and everything, but that's where our habits of becoming a people pleaser start. And when we grow up, we either become a people pleaser or a manipulator. That's how it goes on. Another way where it happens is when we reach out for love and we've given pain again and again and again and again, and we're disappointed constantly. It's so much pain inside, the child has to stop it. So either he becomes a people pleaser, as I mentioned, or he becomes a complete rebel. That's something that happened in my case. And it just depends on just your personality. It's not like a clear-cut thing, who's going to be a people pleaser, who's going to start conforming, or who's going to start rebelling. So many times it happens that even when you start to conform, even when you start to, do everything that your parents want, but you still do not get the love and acceptance, and you still do not get the certain things that they promised you. Like a very simple example. I was told that if I come first in class, I will be getting a PlayStation. I came first in class, I did not get the PlayStation. That broke my trust out there. Next year again, the same thing, no PlayStation. This thing happened 3 to 5 years constantly in a row, and they're like, we'll give you whatever you want. But because of the parents not fulfilling their promise, that broke my trust towards them, and I stopped relying on them, I stopped trusting them with everything, and stopped turning towards them for the love. On top of the other hundreds of things which have happened, if you want to know my journey with this thing, there's a video I've uploaded, my 7-year painful transformational journey. You can check that out, and I've gone into crucial detail, very deep down detail about my upbringing and how I grew up, and which led me to do the work out here that I'm sharing with you today. So because every time we've tried it, we've tried being a people pleaser, we've tried to do everything that they wanted us to do, but every time we've received pain. Now all we can do is we can just give up and be like, I don't have needs at all. And this is something that men start to do more while we're growing up, is because one thing is we're not allowed to have emotions. We're not allowed to have emotion, and that's been looked down by everyone around. Of course, those things are starting to change, but like all of us are grown-ups right now, the damage has already been done. So naturally, anytime I go to meet my needs, I'm faced with pain. So I don't have needs at all. I'm not going to have needs. I'm going to suppress my needs. I don't want anything at all. So I'm going to resign. I'm going to start rebelling. And whatever my parents tell me, I'm not going to conform to that. And I will do everything opposite to that, because they've given me enough pain in life. So I block out my needs. I don't need anything. I just become a very happy person. I become a rebel. I just start fighting with everyone, and different number of things start to happen. And that's where the rebellious nature starts to come, or that's where the people-pleasing nature starts to come. And naturally, the anger towards the parents is there. Now, this anger could be because our needs are not met, or it could be because physical abuse is happening, or emotional abuse is happening, or there are some certain things that we want to do, but we're not allowed to do that. And our parents become very controlling, and no one likes to be controlled. We want to do something that we want to do. A child naturally wants to grow up and wants to explore, wants to go out, wants to do a lot of things. So their anger starts to come. We start to hate our parents, and we start to look at them as villains. Even worse, if your parents are separated, there's going to be a lot of anger towards your parents. Or if you see them fighting at some point in time, if you see them fighting, that will make you feel even worse, and they'll get you to be even more traumatized, and you'll be crying at the point in time. It's just hell. Witnessing domestic violence is the worst thing that happens. Now, because your parents are fighting, or because you're being hit, a lot of anger is developed, a lot of shame is developed, a lot of low self-worth is developed. These people-pleasing, manipulator abilities, being a rebel, all of these things start to develop. And now the child does not know who to trust, where his needs need to be met, but he does not have any other option but to just trust his parents, because he can't leave. They're the ones who's going to take care of him. So we end up in a love-hate relationship with our parents. We hate them, but for our survival, we have to conform to them, and we have to love them. Naturally, because we are the offsprings of our parents, a deep down true love is always going to be there for our parents. But because of the behaviors that they've done, we've become very conflicted, and there's a hatred as well. And we might have tried even now, even now when we know our needs are not going to be met, even now if something good happens, we call up our father or we call up our mother and we tell them this thing has happened. And rather than them being like, we're so proud of you, they go on to say something like, oh, this could have been better. Oh, now this is what you need to do now. The thing that has just happened, we might have worked so hard to accomplish that in school right now, whatever, to get the promotion. To just hear those loving words that I love you and you did great and you're amazing and we're proud of you. That does not happen. It's always being played down and in some way or the other to be like, oh, next you've got to accomplish this, or that this could have been better. And it's just never enough for them. And that gets us even more and more and more angry. But because of the true love, the deep down love we have towards our parents, the childlike love that we have, we always want to receive that love, and that creates a huge void and makes us split in that love-hate relationship. The solution to that is, firstly, we need to understand that our parents will never be able to meet our needs. I'm sorry to say, that will never happen. Just because they're wounded people themselves, they were wounded children themselves. And the way they were brought up was the same way that we were brought up, and their parents were brought up in the same way, and their parents were brought up in the same way. So this pattern has been going on and on and on, and we need to stop it right here so that we don't pass it on. Because they're wounded people, one important quotation that you need to keep this in mind at all points in time. This will really help you understand right now what's really going on. We can only give something to someone that we've received ourselves. We cannot give what we haven't received ourselves. So if our parents did not receive the love, approval, validation, and they did not hear those affirming words that we crave from them, they cannot pass them on to us. And it'll be very difficult for us to say those things to ourselves or to someone else as well. And the blocks around those emotions will be built. So if they haven't received something themselves, they cannot give it to us. And naturally, if at any point in time we seek out or we reach out to them to meet our needs and get that love and those affirming things, that's never going to be happening. So we need to let that go. Next. Now we can't meet our needs from our parents. What do we do? We start to meet our needs through ourselves. When we were growing up, we were too young, we were too naive, we didn't know what to do. But now we're grown up individuals and we can meet our needs ourselves. So we need to build those things into place and meet those needs. But even before that, we need to be aware of our subconscious anchors, the pain that was created, the core wound or the number of wounds that happened, the defense mechanisms that formed, the voids that it formed. I'm going to be talking more about this, of course, deeper into the Warrior Monk workshop and in the upcoming videos as well. But just understand all of these things. We need to be aware of this stuff. Then we got to connect with those parts of ourselves of how we were before when all of these things happened. And then the pain, the emotions that we could not process during that time, start to let go of that and release all of that and come to a space that could include all of the anger that we've stored inside, the blame, the resentment that we have towards the parents that need to be released, the pain that we have that needs to be released, the guilt, shame, everything needs to be processed, released, let go through certain processes that we do. And once we've gone through that, then we can come to reprogramming ourselves and reparenting ourselves and meeting our own needs, giving ourselves the love that we did not receive, and constantly creating a system and a toolkit to meet our needs going further from here, so that we're not out there seeking our needs from our parents which will never be met, or from other people who did not sign up for that. So one thing that happens in a relationship is that if our needs are not met while we're growing up, or if there are certain voids inside, we project them onto our partners and we want them to fill our needs. So in essence, what we're doing is we're not going into a relationship. We're ideally making them our parent and putting a lot of burden on them to meet our needs, which is completely unhealthy, and that leads to those relationships not lasting at all. So for us to have better relationships, we need to start going through this 4-step process and start to meet our needs, start to release all of this stuff, and only then can we move on to a better relationships with our partners, our friends, while at the same time better relationship with our parents as well. And once this is done, that's when finally we can reach a point of forgiving our parents. And this forgiveness is not for them. We're not doing it as a favor to them. We're doing this for ourselves, because if we do not forgive someone, it's the poison that we're eating inside of us, and they're not even aware of that. And that's affecting us deep down inside, because we're carrying that anger, hatred, that resentment for years and years and years. Until the time we can't let go of that, we don't have space to build love inside for ourselves and for other people. All right. Only when something is removed can something new come in, which is the love, the good self-worth, the amazing things in life, and the space for other people as well. And that's how we can finally reach a point of true love towards our parents. In this video, you might have come up with a lot of things while viewing this video. You might be thinking and blaming a lot of the things on our parents. And I'm not even going to say that you're wrong about that, because it's true. A lot of the things that might be going wrong in your life, you'd be blaming your parents for that. That's completely fine. But when we're doing that, one thing to clearly understand is whatever bad is happening in your life, maybe that's because of your parents, but whatever good is also happening in your life, you need to thank your parents for that. Because naturally they did something wrong, but they did their best that they could. No parent wants their child to feel bad about those things. So starting to let go of that anger and hatred, and start to also look at the bright side of what are the good things that our parents did for us. Now, if you've seen my video on my 7-year-long transformational journey of how I came across this work and all of that thing that happened, clearly there are a lot of things which weren't ideal that happened in my life, but there were still a number of amazing things that happened. My parents sent me to an amazing school. They took care of me. They paid my fees. I grew up. They fed me. They did try to do their best. They did take care of me, and a lot of other things. All right, there's a lot of other things that happened that came out of that, which I can look back fondly and thank my parents for that. So for you as well, you need to shift your mind from the lack and from the blame to the gratitude that you feel towards your parents, and only then can we reach that level of humility, and that's important as well. Now, all of you would have been grown up by now. You're in amazing jobs. You're high performing people out here, all right? You're earning a lot of money, and maybe you're earning more money than your parents. You're more successful than your parents ever were. You've got better marks than them. You've got just everything better. Maybe you look amazing. You're in better shape. Everything is great. And that can naturally lead to more arrogance. That can naturally lead to you feeling that you're above your parents. But that's a bad mindset to have. Because even if you can repay them for all of the education and all of the care that they did for you, and you give that with interest, or you 10x return, you give it to them and be like, I don't want anything from you. And that's the extreme hatred we're talking about out here, all right? You give it back to them. But there's one thing you can never repay your parents for, and that's bringing you into this life. That's repaying them of giving you the gift of birth. Because if they wouldn't have been here, you would not have been here. And no amount of money can buy that. In the end, we need to take our true position, not here. No matter how big we get, no matter how successful we get, how rich we get, our parents are always going to be bigger than us, and we're going to be lower than them, all right? Or lesser than them, or smaller than them. Bigger and smaller, I think it's a better. Our parents are always going to be bigger, and we're going to be smaller. If you feel like, no, every human is equal, no, your parents are always bigger than you, all right? So only then can you reach that point. I hope you got something out of it. There's a lot of things I've mentioned, and I know these videos are longer, and I know these videos are a bit too much to take in, and naturally, which is why you've got to be taking notes while you're doing this. And if you want to take this journey deeper, and you want my help with helping you out with this thing, and you want to work with me a little bit more closely, I'm coming up with a new workshop in literally 2 days. On the 5th of October, on Tuesday, we're going to be going live with a Warrior Monk workshop, where we're going to help you go deeper into all of the things we've spoken about in this video series, help you build high worth, let go of stress, anxiety, overwhelm, do a deep emotional cleanse of all of the pain, anger, hatred from years and years of stuff, let go of the trauma that you've gone through, unleash the warrior monk inside so that you can build a safe space, you can find that strength inside of you, and then stop the patterns from affecting you again and again, and finally live your life with great self-worth, have amazing relationships, be more confident, and just be a well-rounded individual, and be happy and fulfilled, and so many more things that you can get out of it. So one thing to realize is the work that we're doing out here is deep work. It's long-lasting work. It is intense, but it's longer lasting. It's not just surface level work where I'm going to tell you to just meditate or just do a couple of affirmations or just do some chanting and just align your chakras. Of course, those things work. Those things are great. But what we're doing out here, we're looking for long-lasting transformation. And this work is much more important than doing the other surface level stuff, which placement of that comes much later once we've done all of this stuff. Otherwise, we're just spiritually bypassing and just looking at the sexy work that spirituality and other things are associated with, and not doing the deep down dirty work of cleansing ourselves, of looking into our own traumas, our own patterns, and processing the pain again. So 5th of October, the workshop is going to be live. Make sure you guys sign up for that as quickly as you can. We've got limited slots available. We've got only 50 slots available because I want this workshop to be much more intimate. We had 2,000 people attending the masterclass, but this workshop is only going to be 50 people. It's a paid workshop, definitely, so that we can limit people out there. And make sure you sign up. It's going to be on Zoom. It's going to be where I can see you. I can see what's really going on with you. The workshop is going to be happening on the 9th and 10th of October, 8 to 10 p.m. So block out those days as well. And I'm going to see you on the 5th. This is Kshitij signing off. Make sure you like this video and let me know what you thought about it, all right? Your feedback is always appreciated, and I see you soon. Peace, boys.